So we looking forward to going out there. We got a great team, and we all work hard. We work hard all summer, all spring. So we think we got the team to do it this year. Oh no, not at all. We got freshmen coming in, a lot of players that didn't play. They was looking forward to playing this year. We want to do it again. We don't want to be no disappointment. Everybody gonna be out there this year. So we're
gonna get it, nigga.
BJ, talk about the ACC, and a lot of games you guys were up big, and you talk about how you feel like competition. Maybe this year you guys might do a little more, or you feel like you're favorite every game again.
Yeah. We're looking forward to every game. We got a lot of good teams. Every year the teams get better, so it's whole new year. So we're looking for some good games. Some great teams. So I don't think it's gonna be a lot better. Louisville, other games, things like that. We look for all the other teams to do much better. We're gonna put the game out there. Yeah.
How excited are you to have Notre Dame and Florida both at home this year and have those big games in front of your home crowd?
Very excited. We love playing in those games. It's always live, especially right now. Good opponent now.
I think James can handle all the attention that he gets, things off the field, winning a championship, all the above.
I think he handled it pretty well. He's a great leader to our team. He always staying calm. He never got cocky or anything like that. He works hard every day. So I think he handled it.
You getting someone who's getting Florida State back to where it was.
Honestly, it's good for us. We know we got that target on our back. So we looking to go hard every day, every practice, get better. Just looking to win every game. We don't want anybody to take us down. It just makes us work hard.
Guys, I need to through that walkway.
Oh, not at all, not at all. We all looking to do it again. We know what it takes. So everybody working just hard at the very end of this.
Before I say anything, how does it feel to have an ACC team come in here with a national championship, y'all? Can we give us an ACC a round of applause, please? Finally, we took it away from the SEC, man. It's a blessing.
Jameis, I know you and PJ are close. And you guys came in at the same time. How much have you seen him grow? Like since he's been there, I mean, he's one of the top corners in the country now.
Well, I throw against him every day, so obviously he's making me better. I'm trying to make them better, and the guys that I got to throw to are definitely making him better with him having to cover Kelvin and Rashad and even the new guys this year.
James, the first thing you said about getting the national title, being an Alabama kid and everything, talk about growing up with Auburn, Alabama all around you. Probably not a whole lot of Florida State till you went there, but just talk about taking that away from you.
I can tell these guys all the time, Auburn and Alabama, those are my rivalry games. And it is always good to play against your old high school rivalries. And it's important to us as Seminoles and the Seminole tribe and all Seminole Nation to have a national championship again back in Tallahassee.
As a rare underclassmen Heisman Trophy winner, how does it feel when you're out there competing against players like that?
Well, it's more fun when you're out there and your teammates know that they should. Because I told them after I received that award that it was their trophy too. But as an individual, I did receive it. But that's not as important as a national championship. But that was a true accomplishment as a team.
Do you ever hear from players on opposing teams? Heisman Trophy winner, do you ever hear about it?
Not really. I usually just focus on the Seminole, and we stay in our own circle.
James, how do you feel you possibly did better than last year? I mean, last year was so great for you and the team. Like you've asked BJ about how you guys stay hungry to get another one. not just happy with one. How do you feel like as a quarterback?
Always having that chip on your shoulder is one important thing as a quarterback, and understanding the leadership and understanding how to get these guys to follow your footsteps. I mean, you gotta, as a good quarterback, you gotta be able to influence others, and that's one thing that I think that we do as leaders of our team. We are able to influence others and get people to play at levels that they didn't even think they could play at.
James, how has your life changed in 12 months?
It hasn't changed. I've been probably more in the spotlight, but I still do my daily routine. Go out there and ground with my teammates. We still have a little fun here and there, and we still got our mind set on winning another national championship. That's the most important thing.
What have you learned about being in the spotlight?
Well, I mean, as a quarterback, you always don't get scrutinized. You always don't get praised. That's the position that we play. It's the most scrutinized and praised position in sports. And, you gotta learn that the leadership behind it, and I definitely understand my leadership responsibilities for a national championship team and a team that won the Heisman Trophy.
How about the spotlight off?
Well, it like I said, it comes with your territory. And, always gotta have a smile on your face, and that's why I said leadership is not only on the field; it's off the field too. And I know I got a lot of young guys looking up to me, and I know I have a lot of support from my teammates as well.
James, how do you transition from like baseball to football and sort of winning from one sport to the other?
Well, I have to give that to baseball trainer, we call him Woody, Adam Ross, and Coach Vic Valora, because they have a set plan for me, and they have me doing specific workouts, keeping me in shape. Baseball, we eat real good at baseball on the road because we have a longer weekend, but football is more of a mental thing with me, other than those guys getting buffed like Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff. But I like watching film and preparing myself in football, even during baseball season, so I can balance both out.
James, how much will that team winning the national championship bring into this season?
We starting over, man. We starting over. We got clean slate because we not really worried about defending the national championship. We worried about getting another one. And that's the most important part. Is going out there, keeping that chip on the shoulder, having the same purpose, same mentality, and getting where we want.
At any point in the offseason, you ever see guys do something comfortable or satisfied with?
We see guys do that, but it's our job as leaders of our team. Like we're not getting complacent. We know that we have a job at hand. We know that we gotta take time to eat, and second we gotta study. We gotta do individual things to help improve ourselves.
James, how do you prepare yourself for the height of a second height that you're saying?
I don't think there's no way that you can prepare because that moment was so surreal last year. And all I can say is I got my team back. Again, it's a relatively new team, but we got our offensive line back. We got some new additions to the wide receiving core. Our defense is better than ever, and that's what I'm focusing on is our development and how our season is going to turn out.
James, you lost some weapons in Kelvin, and some of the other receivers that you got Rashad back and Nick back. Talk about the weapons you're going to have this year compared to last year, and who's going to be some guys that you're going to look for big things up that we can look for big things.
I can sit here and name every one of my wide receivers, starting from Christian Green, Rashad Green, Kermit Whitfield, Bobo, Isaiah Jones. We got Travis Rudolph, a new addition. He's going to be fantastic. Erman Lane is having a tremendous summer. Javon, he's a new freshman that we have. And Scooter Hagens, we glad to have him back because he was injured last year. And even we won't walk on on the field, we know that only in the year that's the only the team has a 1 year in college football. So we know that we lost KB and he was a great addition to our team. But guys that they're coming in, they're really stepping up. And the most important thing is we got our offensive line back. We lost Stork, we're going to miss him. But Austin Barron has had plenty of starts, and he even started as a true freshman in some games. So it's about it's about developing those guys and getting those guys to have the same mentality that those guys had last year. It's not.
PJ, same question for you. Losing a guy like Marcus, who was a cornerstone for you guys. Who were some guys on defense other than yourself that proceeds to get things out?
I do that. Yeah, it's good. All around, like everyone has a little experience from last year and a couple years ago. We got some freshmen stepping up, and they're gonna do real good. Me, myself, Jalen Ramsey, all stepping up, being vocal leaders and leaders on the field for other players. So, and also Colin Hunter, who got hurt last year, and really good for the league. Back to 100% this year. Have a great year.
Dan, how good is the competition in practice knowing that you're going up to the talented secondary day in and day out?
Oh, we look at it as we playing the best team every day in practice. You know, our defense is arguably one of the best defenses in the country, and I know that. And we have one of the most prolific offenses in the country, and they know that. So definitely, it's a lot of fun when you get a chance to go against guys that you know are going to be future first-round picks, and guys like Mario Edwards that's going to be rushing you all the time, is going to give you competition is at practice. Against players that are we better than them. All the height that
What do you expect that game
First part would be, what advice would you give him for handling things on the field and then for handling things off the field?
Well, he has to get on the field first, and I seen him play in high school, and I think he's an outstanding player. But the main thing is influence. As a young quarterback, you have to get that respect, you have to get that trust, and that's one thing that at Florida State they allowed me to come in and take that position. Obviously, I had a great privilege of sitting behind EJ for a year before I stepped into that fire, and he probably gets thrown in the ring early. But I wish him the best of luck because I've seen his game, I respect his game, but it's about Florida State, man. It's about Florida State, and I guarantee you, PJ not worried about a 5-star because in college football, we don't worry about stars. We worry about wins and championships.
Jameis, you said you guys embraced the underdog. You guys picked some highlights of the 12 maybe you competed double years. How does motivation change taking the pocket when you guys are prohibited favorites?
It doesn't change because to us, we always got to get better. You know, if we stand out there and be complacent, that's how you get your tails kicked. To us, we always got something like we know our whys and why we play. We go out there and play every Saturday or sometimes Thursday for a man that's having to face something devastating in his life every single day with his son. And we know where we come from. We don't come from, not all of us, like some of us come from big houses and, golden spoons, but we know where we come from. We know our whys and why we go out there and fight every day and why we have our brothers that support us. We know why we do this. So complacency, being comfortable. We never feel comfortable. Feeling comfortable is not right.
Jameis, KB has really forged a really strong relationship with Camden. Wanted to know, how did you see Kelvin? What was y'all's relationship like? Is it surprising at all that he's so tight with him?
I tell KB every time I talk to him, it's a blessing that he gets the opportunity to play with Cam. Because as I was coming up, I always loved Cam's game, and I feel like we have some similar qualities. Obviously, he's better, but by KB coming from me to Cam, that's amazing. I think he's really gonna help Cam out, and I know Cam is always gonna have an influence on his players, and they're gonna have probably one of the most dynamic combinations in the NFL.
How much you enjoy working out with doing an event with Charlie Walker?
It was a great time because we got the opportunity to get it was a father and kid event, and Charlie Ward is such a great mentor to me and such a great father to his kids. By me going out there and seeing that these fathers are taking these kids to the camps, and I had the opportunity to speak with the kids, and it was a little kid out. He was like 9 years old, and I let him stand up. While I was talking to him, he said, I don't always get viewed as the biggest player. I don't always get viewed as the best player. He said, but I'm always going to try. I'm always going to do everything that I want to do, no matter who tells me I'm little, no matter who tells me I'm not good enough. And that touched me. Because when you see something like that coming out of a little kid's mouth and he don't know what the real world has for him, that gives you chills through your body because hey, this kid gets it. Even though he probably not going to be the tallest, he probably won't be the fastest, but he'll be a successful person just because of the way he thinks.
And lastly, both of you, are you excited about playing on season?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. A better chance for more teams, but have a chance to go to the playoffs instead of just 2 teams go quick. So it's pretty cool. And then the last 2 teams get playing pretty much 2 bowl games. So it was a fun experience. Next day they'll play another game. So we love playing.
January Madness?
Yeah. That's when we should be called.
Kind of piggybacking on that question, which would you guys prefer? What else system like DC?
Well, we support anything that's more football. Obviously the computers made some people angry and it made some people happy. But we support what the NCAA is doing with the new trophy. We got an opportunity to touch that bad boy, and anything that promotes more football and gets people more active in it, like playoffs like that. It's like high school, And we love being in the playoffs. It's like NFL too. It's that game to make it to the show, and to us, that's another thing that keeps a chip on our shoulder because we know, hey, we're gonna make it to this game, and then we got an opportunity to make it to the show. You know, so that's I love the playoffs.
Jameis.
If you think a one-loss this team, you think you'll have to go undefeated to make the college football playoff out of this time? Think about it.
Well, we have high expectations. So a loss is definitely not in our vocabulary at this point. But I can't really speak on that.
Jameis, given what's happened off the field, you feel it necessary to be more circumspect and careful in your personal life these days?
Well, definitely. But as a leader, you have to accept the role, and you have to live up to it. And that's one thing I have learned this past season, because I know I'm in the spotlight, and I know I got these guys depending on me. I know I got close. Because I want to be in that situation. Like I was telling the guys, I would rather be in a bad situation than. I mean, I don't know the true definition of the spotlight. So if cameras want to be on me, or if a kid want to ask me for an autograph, I guess that just comes with me playing quarterback and me being on TV. But I don't try to live in the spotlight. I don't try to use the spotlight as a excuse.
James, coming back to the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, do you expect people to maybe pick apart your game a little bit more like they did with Johnny last year after he came back? Is that a different kind of in the off-field spotlight? It's a different kind of spotlight.
Well, with all that stuff, that's on me, because I'm trying to better myself. You know, when people make comments or try to be critical of my game, I try to get better. I use that as constructive criticism, because ain't nobody gonna be more critical to my game than my head coach, Jimbo Fisher, because he's gonna prepare me to be in the best situations. He's gonna have me doing everything I need to do to become his prototypical quarterback. And all his quarterbacks have been good.
What do you think about having 100 reporters standing around you, hanging on your every word? I mean, I'm claustrophobic sitting back here. How do you feel with all this around you right now? Are you enjoying this?
I'm definitely enjoying this.
Yeah.
You know, it gives me a chance to express my feelings. It gives a chance for people to see who I really am. And I got my dogs in here with me, so ain't nothing about to happen. You know?
What area you most need to improve
One thing I have been working on this summer is my hips. But me and Coach Fisher are doing a lot of things to work with my progressions in the game and just getting better and better and get more on top of film study and just the way our offense works.
What are some of the things, you mentioned you've been watching a lot of film during the offseason, what are some of the things that you've been really focusing on and what you're looking at on film? What specifically are you trying to pay attention to in what you're watching?
I make a lot of throws off balance. I make a lot of throws where I just use my arm. So I'm trying to use my hips, and from the read perspective with the concepts, I have to start taking it down to my backs a lot more. So when I watch film, I don't really look at myself. I'm more into reading defenses and seeing how I can just physically pick them apart. But with Coach Fisher, the feedback that I get from Coach Fisher and the feedback I get from my great quarterback coach, Coach Sanders, is just been up to here. I mean, because I know they can always put me in the right situation. They always gonna tell me what I need to know.
Ellis Johnson, before the national title game, had said that you hadn't struggled against anything all year, but the one thing that you'd had maybe less success against than anything else had been some man-free looks, sort of vanilla stuff, actually. In what way, I don't know if that's something that you guys have discussed or how you might be looking at improving on some of those things. Like you said, it wasn't really a weakness, but it was just a notch below some of what you've done against some other coverages. Well, how are you looking at some of that?
Well, for man free to be my weakness, when I had KB and Rashad and Kenny Shaw out there, I can't really say anything on that because I dare someone to play man against us.
Jameis, after the championship game, Coach Fisher said that was maybe your best game because you struggled early. Come on at the end. Going back to that game, did you figure out why you struggled early? Maybe what caused you to turn around?
Yeah, but I just said I wasn't finding my backs in the first quarter. It was a big game, so I was trying to make big plays, and that's one thing that Coach Fisher, you can't be bigger than the game. I love the big stage opportunity, so I'm doing everything I can to make those big plays. But as a quarterback, you have to be able to just nickel and dime it down the field and put the ball in your receivers and your running backs' hands and just lead them, lead them to the victory. And that's what we did.
James, any motivation, any expectations of maybe being the first winners?
I really don't focus on that. I focus on national championship quarterback, definitely, because that involves us. At the top, it's just us.
When was the last time you were nervous?
I get butterflies before every game, but nervousness, that's cowardly to me. I don't like being nervous at all. Definitions of nervousness, but my definition of and I know in this conference or any I don't think any player is scared, but butterflies, I get them every game, man.
Did you have to get over being scared at any when you were younger?
Never been scared. I'm not scared. I don't fear anything but God.
Jameis, where do you think your personality, that strong personality and also fun-loving guy, obviously always one of those first guys coming here. What's kind of a two-part? Where's your personality come from? And what's it like playing with him?
Well, it's a blessing to just be a carefree, loving person. So and it just comes from my parents. Being around what I grew up around, you really couldn't be uptight to them because people would try to hurt you. And that's why I get my smile, my laugh, because you can't get too sensitive about them. And Coach Fisher is an amazing coach. And just to add to that, he gets so much respect from us as players just because of the way he's going through on a daily basis. Accepted his role as being one of the elite guys on this team. And at Florida State, we don't discriminate with no age either. Jalen Ramsey has made a big step as being a vocal leader and showing. Terrence Smith, he's having a great summer, and he's been more vocal. And that's one thing that we missing in guys like. And sometimes Timmy Telvin was the loudest, most motivated person on that field. And sometimes you're not gonna have guys like that every time. But you can have guys, as long as you're influencing guys the right way and doing what you're supposed to do.
What do you expect out of Rashad this year? Obviously, with he's back, some of the other receivers aren't.
I expect the same thing from what he did last year. Lead our team in great. He's a great wide receiver. Shot person to accept the silly, the goofiness, the playing around. He accepted me. He told me, he's like, hey man, he's like, I got you back, no matter what. And he's been a true brother figure, like a true brother, not besides the brotherhood and everything. Why is he so
Why
good?
is he so good? Yeah,
Because he's best, obviously. He's the man on that field.
You're very active on Twitter. Young guys, high school kids who are getting on Twitter now and kind of using that for football, recruiting, all that kind of stuff. Is there any advice for young guys, the do's and don'ts, that do this, don't do that on social media?
Well, one thing on social media, you can't hurt yourself. You know, there's always one thing I learned. You always gotta be motivated. Say good things. I mean, if you think about a tweet, don't just feel free and just do the right thing. Especially young guys. Young guys, they post everything now. Like I'm not very active with the Instagram and stuff, but I'm starting to enhance my social media life.
You said earlier, James, that you just gotta go through your daily life.
Huh?
You said earlier, life hasn't really changed all that much. Can you really walk around Tallahassee and be a normal college student now?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I can. I walk around campus every day. You know, people say, hey, they speak. But that's how it is in Tallahassee. I mean, such great people. You know, I take a lot of pictures sometimes. Sometimes I can't be taking too many pictures. But, everyone is true to themselves, and they respect the space, man. We got such good people in Tallahassee, especially our class, our student body. They respect everything you do, and they focus on making someone of their own life, you know.
Jameis, everywhere you go, obviously, when someone reaches a caliber of yours, or Johnny's, or Cam's, all the pictures, autographs, everything that comes with it, what's your attitude towards that? Do you like taking pictures with people, sign autographs?
Man, I love my fans. You know, fans are one thing that can motivate you to be even better. I use fans as a term of motivation. And when I see those kids wearing my jersey and asking me to sign their balls, their footballs, I get a kick out of that, you know, because when I was growing up, I didn't have that person. I can go to a football game and ask someone to sign an autograph for me, you know. Hey, Terrell is a great guy. That's how I know he'll have a lot of success playing quarterback. And he had a good performance against us. I mean, our defense was the best defense in the country, and I think that was one of his first starts, actually. Well, first or third. And I just want success for everyone in this league because the ACC has been so good to us, you know, us as student athletes. I want all our teams to, you know, overcome that we have a weak conference or something like that. I want everybody to shine, you know. But I'm pulling for Florida State if we play against anybody.
James, you mentioned in a statement that you had a moment of youthful ignorance with the shoplifting incident. How specifically now in your daily life do you avoid those kind of moments? You know, just day to day.
I've fixed that. You know, I've matured enough and I understand what it really takes to be a leader. You know, and when you out there and like I'm saying, the spotlight is on you. You have to be very careful with everything that you do, and I feel like that I'm doing a better job with that.
What would you tell people who don't know you that well actually what happens?
Well, I don't go into detail, but I did fix it, and I've learned from my mistakes. So, like I always have, the leadership that I've gained and from my mistakes, my past mistakes, I've got better.
Not going into that incident, that specific incident.
I learned what it really takes to be a leader. you know, and everyone's always going to be watching you, and you have to fight.
Do you understand why people might be hesitant to believe you?
Well, I definitely understand that because of the perspective, but I know the type of person that I am, and I know that I have support from my teammates, and I know that I was raised by a great family, so that's the least of my worries when people think.
Jameis, how often do you talk to Charlie?
I actually was talking to Charlie the other day, and they actually had a father-son trip at Florida State the past day, and he took his son to the indoor facility, and I asked him, I said, why you ain't throwing no routes to him? And he was like, that's a good idea. Like, well, you made that for us. Like, come on, man, you got to at least give back, throw some balls in our practice facility.
Do you all have a back and forth, like on the phone, text, and that kind of stuff? I mean, I know you did through the season, but even off season, just that's kind of like a growing relationship.
Like, he invited me to work at his camp. That was a privilege for me. I mean, Charlie Wood offered me to work at his camp, so that was very fun.
Has he helped you kind of evolve and all this stuff you're being asked about and talked about with maturity?
He has, and that's one thing that Charlie has helped me about. He always tells me, be myself, and also just do the right thing. Because he genuinely knows that I'm a good person, but it's times when you make mistakes, but you can't change yourself. During the season, he always was a mentor to EJ as well, and Charlie always has good relationships with the quarterbacks at Florida State.
Jameis, I know you are nervous after seeing you win. How disappointed are you that you hurt yourself for that game? How much are you looking forward to playing you win again?
Well, Duke is such a great player, and luckily I don't get to face him. This PJ's job to stop him, but that was a great game. It was a great atmosphere. I think we broke a record for the most fans we had in that game. So I look forward to going to Miami and playing them this year. But Miami isn't really one of my rivalries because I don't know many players from that team. But as a Seminole, you know, you got to go out there and battle, and you got to beat the Hurricanes, you got to beat the Cannons.
Backing on that, how was your first time getting to play Miami in the rivalry game? What kind of atmosphere do you think that could be if that was the conference championship game?
I think it'll be an electric atmosphere. You know, the fans will definitely be into it, and that's something that I'm pretty sure Miami fans and Florida State fans would like to see. But we have so many great teams in this summer. So it's hard for both of us to stop.
Not wearing your championship ring?
I let PJ do it because, you know, we got the same watch, we got the same shirt on, same pants, and same shoes. You know, it's real brotherhood around here.
What happened to the chain?
The chain, I left it in my bag. I didn't want to be too flashy to show y'all my gold today. Well, with baseball, they have so many leagues that develop them to being that player that they want with minor leagues. Like, you just it's not that many Bryce Harpers in this world. You just can just play, go from 17 and go to the league. And football is very it's a team-oriented sport. You know, you got to have a great quarterback. And if you got a good quarterback, you got to have a great offensive line. If you got to go offensive line, you got to have a great running game. If you got a good running game, you got to have a good passing game. Like, this game is so strategic. So I respect that we can't just leap into the NFL. I actually, at the Manning Academy, a kid asked us, and he was like, the question was, why college? Like, why don't y'all just go to the NFL? And we just laughed, but because we know that before you go up there, you have to be truly ready. Where baseball is more individual based, so you can prepare yourself in different ways that you can't really prepare yourself in football because everyone sees 95. You see 95 all the time. Football, you're not going to see Jadeveon Clowney rushing on the end in high school unless you're from South Carolina, maybe. Well, one thing about college is we're blessed to get a free education, and that's the most important thing that I think that college gives you, that the NCAA that they're giving us a free education. And with money being involved, my job as a Florida State Seminole is to be a good student first, and then an athlete second. So that scholarship that we get every year, that's enough money for me. My love is for the game, and I know one day, hopefully God willing, that I will have the opportunity to have football as being my job and baseball being my job. Well, we haven't really focused on that. It's all about getting ready for this season and preparing ourselves to win another national championship. We never really focused on it. We just focused on winning another national championship.
James, when you say football and baseball being your job, you mean you want to do both professionally?
I do. I really do. That's something that I put my mind to. And if one day comes that I have to make a decision, I know it'll be the right decision. Because I was talking to a kid the other day that played football and baseball. And I asked him, I said, what's your favorite sport? He said, football, no doubt. I said, so you don't like baseball? He said, yeah, I love baseball. I'm actually better at baseball than I am at football. I was like, well, why don't you say both? I said, because if you stop playing one, you're going to be better than the next person in the same sport. So if I have to make that decision to just play one sport, I know that I'm going to have more time to work on my craft and more time to build myself into being a great player. Man, I was excited to meet everybody. You know, we were just enjoying the moment, man. There's superstars everywhere, tall basketball players leading up to beautiful women, beautiful weather, and just a great event. I have more of a relationship with Coach Fisher because I do say that I spend most of my time over with football. But Coach Mike Martin is the senior, is one of the greatest men I ever met in my life. And Coach and Junior, he's even greater. You know, and him and Coach Fisher have a great bond, and that allows me to actually be comfortable being involved in the clubhouse and the locker room, just enjoying myself all around. You know what? I don't know what my Heisman Trophy is now because I think my dad takes it to restaurants and all this stuff. He's always. I would not put it past him. My dad he has my trophy somewhere new every day. For our trophy. Well, growing up, I was a big-time Ken Griffey fan. Ken Griffey Jr. was my man. I loved him. I loved him and A-Rod and Jeter. Now I love Adam Jones. I'm starting to become a big fan of Quee. Mike Trout is the man. You know, we got so many like electric players in baseball now, but football, I want to view myself as I want to be like a Peyton Manning and quarterback-wise because he's the man. You know, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in this world, and Cam Newton. I really enjoy watching Cam play because I can see myself being like him, closer than to Peyton Manning, you know, because he's just started, he's developing himself, and he's doing a great job. I like seeing his grind, you know, I love seeing his grind. I haven't really talked to Deion about playing both sports, but he did a good job at it. He did a really good job at it. And I do dream of definitely playing a Super Bowl. I'm not playing a football game and driving to the World Series. Like, not flying to the World Series. That's definitely one of my dreams. And I talked to Joe Jackson. You know, we had a couple of conversations, and by us being from the same exact city, we have a bond that I gotta hold myself up to because he did it. You know, we from the same city, and I'm trying to do it too. Both. Bo did it. Oh no.
Did you go last night, James?
I did.
You think you can?
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm probably the most competitive person in this room. If you want to go play me in hopscotch, I'm down with it. And I'm trying to beat you. Center ball, 4 square. Who want to play 4 square? Anybody?
Oh, we did.
Center ball? All right. We'll take it.
you had referenced earlier the difficulty of going to the pros because, obviously it being a team game, all the strategy involved. And one of the things that you hear a lot from guys that make it, that move up a level is how over time experience slows the game down. And how, even if you lose a step sort of late in the career, these guys, they're reacting faster because they're used to seeing things. Now, last year, you came out guns blazing right away. And, so it's kind of difficult to see, what growth you had because, it's kind of hard to improve on what you did early in the year. But did you feel that at all during last year? Did you feel like things were slowing down as the year came along? And do you feel like that's continuing now for you?
That's one thing I was talking about was and Coach Fisher always stays on it, getting better as the season goes on, and that's how you win games. Like if you look toward the season, we really started blowing people out toward the end of the season. We went and played against Florida in Gainesville, where they had one of the top defenses in the country then, and we put up a lot of numbers against them, and our offense just started clicking, And with a coach like Coach Fisher, I always stand on you saying like, get your work. And then focus on football. I mean, it comes easy, especially around that Christmas time. We don't got no school. Like, that's the main goal is to be free doing bowl week. You don't got no school. You just enjoying. All you got is football. That's probably the best time. Just like baseball. Best time is when school is over. You just play baseball, man. It's awesome. Well, I got the opportunity to play my super region as a freshman, as a true freshman. And obviously we came up short this year, and that hurts me so bad. So I don't really want to talk about that. But super regional baseball is really electric, and hopefully next year we can make it to the World Series and get us a championship. It's not. I relate to both the same, especially like as being a pitcher. And I believe that you gotta have the same mentality as a pitcher that you have as a quarterback. Also as a hitter, I use baseball to help fuel my fury in football. Because as a hitter, you go 3-1 games, and you just down to that game. You go 2 home runs. In football, you can throw 5 touchdowns. In the next game, you can throw 3 touchdowns and throw 2 picks. But at the end of the day, you got to say, hey, put it away. You got to be ready for the next game. And on the mound, it's that relentless that you got, that relentless mentality that you got to have on the mound. Because it's you versus that batter. And being a pitcher is great. I just have that fearless mentality because I don't want him to beat me. And that's how, like, Florida State, we're that pitchers. We don't want that other team to beat us.
I know losing Brian Stork hurts, but what did he mean to you? I know when he left, kind of gave you the reins, so to speak. But what did he mean to you? And then what did he kind of leave you moving forward?
Stork meant so much to me because I probably had the hardest time, getting on Stork's good side than anybody else because he's such a quiet guy, but he's such a fun guy, and he's one of those. He's really serious. And he don't play no play. And by me being goofy and silly, he'll look at me like this and he'll say, "Jameis, come on." And I'll snap back into it. My ADD will get out of it. He'll start teaching me. But the Boston College game is really one game that me and Stork just bonded. And from that game, he told me he loved me in that game. So we came back with the Boston College comeback, and he said, "Jameis, I'd rather have you as my quarterback than anybody else I've ever played with." He said, "Jameis, I love you, man." He said, "You compete, you fight, and you know when to turn that switch on and off." He said, "You can be silly." He said, "I never met a guy that can be silly and play so much, and at the end of the day, be more prepared than anyone else." So that helped me. Stork actually helped me as a quarterback because, sometimes you got to turn the switch on. Sometimes you got to be goofy, and sometimes you got to be serious. Like when Stork say, "James, snap out of it," I got to be locked in, because that's what people are looking at.
So Tom Brady's gonna like him.
Tom Brady should love him. Stork has a sweaty bosom, so he sweats a lot. But and that's a blessing for Stork too. Leaving a national championship team and playing for one of the winningest quarterbacks, that's still playing right now. That's a blessing.
So I'm told you had to change your pants at halftime.
Stork changes his pants every
every
3 series. I guarantee you. Stork is always sweating, but I don't complain because he's sweating because he really sweats blood and tears out there. Stork is the only, well, not the only offensive line, but he's always bleeding somewhere on his knuckles. So I'm like, Stork, you got gloves on. How are you bleeding up under your knuckles, buddy? Are you punching guys? Like, what are you doing? And he works so hard, and that's how I know that Tom will love him. That's how I know that hopefully he has a great career in the NFL.
You think Austin Barron's ready to kind of step in and be like that?
Definitely. Austin, he's more of the laid-back type, you know, and he's a very fun-loving guy, and he's been in the ring. Maryland game, Stork got hurt. We threw Austin in there. Hey, didn't miss a beat. You know, the thing that Coach Trickett does with our offensive line is it's genius in there. Like, he prepares them so well. He has them so, like, dialed in. It's like, you know, Coach Trickett is a military veteran. And that's how our offensive line is. Like, our offensive line they're military based. They're the hardest working team, like, specific group that we got out there. And that's all for Coach Trickett.
I don't think he heard you, bud.
Herman Lane has been doing a good job. Travis Rudolph is really good. And just the pressure. We got sophomores with Isaiah, Bobo Wilson, Kermit. He's so electric. Kermit he's a game changer, right? Kermit is electric. And that's all I got. That's why we recruit him at Florida State. You know, and I definitely love my young guys because they're more apt to listen than the older guys were. And sometime last year, Rashad would be telling me, Jameis, you know I'm open on this play. But the young guys, they kind of be scared to do that now, but eventually they're gonna start doing it.
Do you think the teams will look at you any different this year now that you're going into the national championship last year, whether or not you guys?
Teams?
Do you think the teams that you play against, regardless of whether you go out and say you're defending a national championship, do you think that they'll be a little bit different when they play against you this year?
Because all of them gonna be trying to beat you. They're gonna play their best game when they play Florida State, no doubt. If we played a high 0-12, their best game would be playing against Florida State. Because people look at us like that's why teams love to play Alabama. Teams love to play teams out of SEC. You know, upsets are very, likely in NCAA because it's just one game that you got to prepare. Like there's some teams that just prepare for one game a season, and if they win that game, they're set. But of course, our mentality is not to let a team beat us at all. Oh, my first track before I go out there is Mind of a Maniac by Lil Boosie. You know, I always listen to Stay Scheming by Drake. That's an old track, but I'm always scheming somewhere. You know.
Jameis, in recent years, the ACC was probably known more for basketball than football. How much do you think that's changing recently?
Since last year, we got a national championship. That's so fun about this conference. You know, that's why when I came in, I said, how does it feel? Like, y'all should be happy. How does it feel that ACC we have the title, and we're trying to keep that title, and we don't want it to go nowhere.
Is there enough depth in the league to continue that? Even on a year, let's say FSU doesn't win, is there enough?
Definitely. I got confidence in our squad. Look at Clemson in the Orange Bowl. People say that Ohio State was the best team last year. Clemson went out there, proved a point. Hey, they got that win. We had 11 teams last year with winning records. That's amazing. Not every conference has that.
What to film stuff again? What pro offenses? I know Jimbo will have you watch a lot of pro stuff as well as who does he have you watching in terms of pro offenses to look at different looks and things like that? Are there any defenses that you need an extra time with this year?
Me personally, I love watching the Packers because I admire Aaron Rodgers' game and I admire everything that he does. And recently last year, Peyton Manning because they had that no huddle pace, and that's one thing we were trying to do last year at Florida State, trying to create a no huddle pace, not specifically the super fast 8 seconds like Oregon does, but we're trying to speed up the tempo, get everything moving, and make defenses uncomfortable.
Some people thought your wind-up, your delivery was a little bit small. James, right? People thought your wind-up, your delivery was a little bit long with the ball taking it down here and up. Do you have any problem with your delivery? You think you're good there?
Yeah, I take short criticism. This year, I have been improving myself on that. And Coach Fisher gets on me like that about that all the time. But one thing he also teaches me is anticipating routes. And when you're able to anticipate routes, you can have the longest delivery that you want. And it's a lot of pro-style quarterbacks that hold the ball down low. And it's basically simulating a long delivery. But this year I will be holding the ball up higher to not be so elongated. But most times I'm longest when the ball gets low. And that's one thing Coach Fisher always saying is keep the ball up. Because it probably comes from pitching, But I'm always down for short criticism. I'm always down to get better. I'm never going to take some criticism and say, I had a good season last year. It didn't seem to bother me much. I'm always looking to get better. So anything that someone proposes to me, it's my coaches now. Now, when you guys said, Jameis, your 3-step drop looks like, Huckleberry Finn. I'm like, okay, guys. But Coach Fisher's always on me, and Coach Sanders, man. I mean, Coach Sanders worked with Peyton Manning. He stays on it. Coach Sanders, he won the first BCS championship with T. Martin at Tennessee. So he definitely has the brains and the intelligence of. And I call Coach Fisher the quarterback guru. So I know he's gonna get me. Well, one thing I've been loving about these past 2 years, we playing the NFL stadium, baby. And we're going to be in Jerry World, live and local, against Oklahoma State. And that game is going to be electric, So looking forward to that. That's one thing I always talk about with big games. Like Florida State, we love the big games. We want to be on TV. We want to be in Jerry World, with millions of people watching us. That's what makes football.
I like when you guys play
the sport.
You might even win top sports.
You talk about the big games. You really love the college football playoff because that kind of speaks to one more big game.
That's exactly what I was saying. We actually plan a game to get to the show. Like, I'm pretty sure some teams just be satisfied with making it to the playoffs. But at Florida State, we're going to be satisfied with getting to the show, baby.
That's literally about the hype, obviously, when it's game and everything else. That's about the hype, obviously, when it's games, right? And everything else, the atmosphere.
Yeah, I love playing in the Rose Bowl. I remember before we played in the Rose Bowl, I was watching NFL Network, the Bills versus the Giants, and I did not know they played in the Rose Bowl. So it has a lot of history back, and that was a big stage for us. It was probably one of the best fields I ever played on in my life. Like, I love that field. And hopefully we'll get to it again this year, but we'll be back in Dallas. After.
Hey guys, 2 more questions. We gotta get to another.
Jameis, you guys win the last BCS national championship. You guys were able to win the first college football playoff national championship. What does that mean for not only you but FSU?
I mean, for all the support that we get from the Central Tribe and from our fans, it would be great to be first college football playoff champ. Because all these memories that we're getting right now, we're going to sit back and I don't want to have no woulda, coulda, shoulda memories. I want to have those memories like, hey, man, national championship 1 year, the last year, and we won the first college playoff. You know, I love those memories. Who used to sing that song too? You know, my memories. Well, I've had so much criticism the past year, but like I say, I use it as fuel to my fury, you know. And it was more fans that supported me than they were saying negative things, and that's another thing that makes you a better person. Because when I see people criticizing me and having these opinions, the first thing I think about is not what they think about me. I think about my family. I know I was raised by a great mother. You know, I have an outstanding father. I know I got a 6-year-old brother that looks up to me every day. I know I got a 16-year-old sister that wants her brother to be, you know, the man. So it helps me. That's why I tell y'all, I understand the spotlight. I understand what it is to be a leader. And I'm bettering myself every single day to hold myself to that standard that everyone views me at. You know, because I'm on the pedestal. You know, other players don't get the privilege of being on that pedestal. Thank y'all.
I think